Martial arts school owners, are you making these 5 crucial mistakes in your martial arts school? My name's Dervish Dervish. I built up a very successful, profitable, cash flowing martial arts school that took more in 1 month than most of my competition did in a couple of years. And I also wrote a book. So if you have not invested in that yet, please do so, okay? Not for the £4 or £5 I'll get off Amazon. It's got nothing to do with that. It's to help you as a school owner. So there's about 330 pages in there, tips, strategies, tools, resources for you to develop. So if you're serious, that's the first step. Spend $13.99, I think it is, invest $13.99 and then read that. So I can guarantee you if you implement even half of the things in there, your school will be in a much better place. Anyway, let's get on with today's video then. So like I said, 5 mistakes martial arts school owners make, which is stunting their growth, keeping their income capped, obviously keeping the cash flow down, and ultimately the profits and so on. Now, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Do me a massive favor. Please like the video as well if you're getting a lot of value from it. Right, so number one now is no marketing. Okay, so the marketing is non-existent, or at best it's sporadic. They realize I've only got 10 students, I've only got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 students. I need more students. What shall I do? And then they might do some leafleting, or they might do some community outreach, like go and help out, teach a free lesson in a scout hut, or Girl Guides thing or something like that, or maybe even take it another level, work directly into a primary school and so on. Now, marketing, I've found out, works, but again, the results vary depending on your strategy and your seriousness. Now, marketing isn't just a one-off event. It's got to be seen as a system, definitely. Okay, so what you will find is, if you're struggling now for student numbers, I bet if you think, right, next week or starting tomorrow, I'm going to start to market my school for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, doing things that you think, or watch some of the videos on this channel, or you believe that will help. I bet in 4 weeks time you'll have more students on your books, on your members records. But then what most people do is, especially some of my mentees, they'll get to a certain point and then think, right, that's it. And then eventually then the students start to drop off. Marketing, and I've said it, is not a one-off event. It needs to be something that's done each and every week, each and every month, built out across the year, so that you've got a reliable flow of white belts coming into your martial arts school. So again, check out the YouTube video. There's going to be more. Obviously, there's more videos on this YouTube channel. I think maybe the marketing that we've done to build our school up at one point, it was over about 350 at one point. However, that's when I was doing quite a few things wrong. Our probably prime were probably about 260-ish, but with a very, very, very high cash flowing business. Okay, so it's not always about your membership numbers. It obviously always depends on how much you charge them. So for instance, now you could have 1,000 members, but if they're only paying £10 a month, is it? It's not as good as 100 members paying obviously £50 a month and that type of thing. Okay, I might have got the maths wrong, but you know what I'm doing now, don't you? So if again you're serious about marketing, have a look into that. I've identified lots of things in there that we did to build, a reliable flow of white belts coming through our school. So sometimes we'd have 10 members a month, sometimes it'd go up to 30, but on average, we're about 18 new members each month. Now, you've got to understand here, I wasn't going 100% at it, okay? Because I'm a property investor as well. So obviously, I spend a lot of time, again, you might have watched the videos on this channel, investing in property, making sure our portfolio grows. But I know that if I was 100% focused on building that martial arts school, I would have been able to generate easily 30 new members a month. Now, it depends what your situation's like. If you're serious and you're committed, invest in that book, like this channel, subscribe to this channel as well, and get in touch. Don't sit on the fence. Anyway, I'm sidetracking there. Number two. So marketing was number one. So we need to make sure we're doing a lot more marketing. And number two is instructors tend to just teach the physical skills. They may have slightly adapted what their instructor taught them, and created or crafted their own little syllabus system, whatever it is. But 95% of the instructors that I speak to are only teaching physical skills. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a karate man. You might be judo, BJJ, kra, kickboxing, aikido, taekwondo, whatever it is. You must obviously teach the physical aspects of your art. I'm not saying don't teach that, because obviously what would you be teaching if not that? But embedded within that, you need to be teaching things that I'd call the character development piece, the personal development piece, the personal growth, the transferable life skills that you probably as a martial artist have that you don't really notice that you have compared to other people. So again, I've been studying karate now since 1997. Formed first school, well, my school in January 2004, over 20 years ago. So the things that your parents or your ideal avatar, they're going to be helping, they're going to be bringing their child or their family to you to solve certain reasons or solve certain problems, should I say. So it might be that they've got a lot of energy, it might be that they need more focus, it might be that they're messing around, it might be they're getting distracted too much. It might be a combination of those things. They're not as confident as it could be. They want them to release their potential and so on. So it's your job as a martial arts school owner, as a business owner, to solve, the problems for your students, for your parents. Okay, that's what all successful businesses do. They solve problems. So you as a martial arts school owner need to think, right, obviously I'm going to teach the kicks and the punches of my art, the rolls, the takedowns, whatever it is, the forms. However, embedded within that, I'm going to have elements where I'm going to teach them about focus. I'm going to teach them about respect. I'm going to teach them about discipline, determination, perseverance, indomitable spirit, grit, resilience, self-control. I don't know if I repeated maybe a couple there, but you get the idea. So it can't just be, karate, you bow on, you do your basic techniques, you do your kicks up and down, you do a bit of pad work, you do some kata, you do your kumite sparring, and that's it. You need to make sure that you're weaving in and out of those lessons each and every day, each and every week, month, the character development piece. So don't just be teaching kicks and punches or the physical aspects. Okay, that's going to allow you to elevate your game and obviously increase your price point with that. So again, have a look around this YouTube channel. There should be more videos on what I've just explained there. And obviously, again, I'm going to keep saying it. If you're serious, which if you've watched now 4 or 5 minutes into this video, you are, then get in touch. I will be able to help you grow your school if you're committed, though. That's entirely up to you. Number three, then, so the retention systems. Okay, so when I speak to prospective school owners, sometimes I ask them basic things like, how many members do you enroll a month? How many members do you lose a month? How many inquiries do you get? How many second lessons? What's your sales process like? How do students enroll? And then obviously I'll ask them, how do they try to keep hold of students? Now, most of us think that we're fantastic instructors, and I'm sure you are, definitely. I'm not taking anything away from that. However, we should be looking very, very granular into how we're keeping hold of students and what things, processes we've got in place to stop them slipping through the cracks. So again, I'll keep mentioning it now, I know I'm like a broken record. I've got a large chapter or section in this in my book about retention. So things that you could be doing, just off the top of my head now: welcome call as soon as they enroll, a handwritten welcome letter from you as the instructor, a welcome pack, obviously with computer necessary printed out things done, progress checks for the first 6-8 weeks done every couple of weeks and so on, calls to the parents every 2-4 weeks just to touch base, see how if everything's okay, if they do have any problems, if they've got any questions that they need answering, should I say, making sure that they can see tangible progress. Now, I'm not saying award them a new belt every week, fortnight, month, or anything like that, but I'm saying, people like to see the progress. So myself now, I'm currently a 6-dan 6-degree black belt. So I think I'm eligible at least for my 7th. I think it's still another 3 years off yet. Might even be 3.5, something like that. But we're okay with that because we understand that it's not so much about the belts and the progress and the moving through that way. But the younger students, they will need to see some sort of things. Even the adults as well, really. When we used to enroll adults, parents that are coming along, they'd want to see things that progression's happening. So you need to do things to make sure that they can see that they're moving on. So a little thing that we used to do every month, we'd do a progress check, and with that progress check, it was just an in-class check. They'd get I think it was green progress tab on the belt. So I know it's nothing major, but it's just a green piece of tape to show that they're just a little bit close to the grading. And then again, once you start to delve into the character development aspect piece, where they're completing various self-discipline sheets, they're going to be awarded for completing those as well. So again, I'm not going to get too deep into this video about all the intricacies of retention, but as a martial arts school owner, if you're not tracking your retention, or you can't put a finger on how many students you enroll and how many you lose a month or a quarter or every 6 months or a year, again, you're just drifting around. You need to really hone in on your stats, because that's where the problems are. That's what you can, how can I say it now? That's where you can diagnose things really. So obviously the 5 mistakes that they're making, or school owners make: number 1, no marketing, or not enough marketing, or not organized enough, not systemized enough. Number 2, just teaching what I'd class as the kicks and punches, the physical aspects of their art rather than the character development. Number 3, I just mentioned it then, not tracking or don't have enough retention tools and systems in place. Number 4 is the not tracking stats. Now, I'm heavily a stats man, okay? I'm not a math genius, definitely not, but I can track stats because I understand that stats tell me so much about where we are. So again, on the property investing journey that we're on, okay, so I help my mentees with that as well. We need to be tracking stats there if they're looking to grow the portfolio, if they're looking to expand the cash flow, if they're looking to increase the wealth year on year and so on. And that only comes down to tracking stats and completing the daily disciplines. This exact same is the case for martial arts school owners. You need to track your stats. So the stats, again, I think I've said this for every 90 seconds, but in the book, there is a huge stats section in there, okay? So I'm going to pause now for 5 seconds so you can have a look at that. But please, if you're serious and if you haven't invested in a copy yet, get on Amazon, invest in a copy, and when it lands on your doorstep, start to thoroughly read it, okay? I'm positive if you implement some of the things in there, your school will be in a much better place. Get in touch with us though if you're serious, okay? So stats that we used to track. Right, so how many inquiries have we had today? How many leads have we had today? How many of those inquiries / leads did we get booked in? How many intros, which are first lessons, did we have today? How many seconds did we have today? So second lessons booked, how many attended? From then, how many enrollment conferences did we have from those second lessons? Then do we have any renewal conferences? How many renewals did we have today? And again, I'll touch on that probably later maybe. I don't want to go too deep into that yet, but that's a massive part of the retention. What else? So overall, at the end of the day, how many members did we gain? How many did we lose? What's our net enrollment? How much cash, card, whatever, have we taken today? What's our billing to month today? And so on. So there's so many statistics that you can measure, because it's only when you start to dig deeper into it do you know where the problems are. So most of the martial arts school owners I work with think they're brilliant instructors, and like, again, I'm sure you are. You must be serious if you're watching this video again 10, 12, 15 minutes into it. But if, let's say for instance now, if you're a fighter or a karateka or a kumite or anything like that, you need to work on your attack and defense. You need to work on your takedowns, obviously your counter strikes and so on like that, your combinations, your fitness. Now, if one of those elements isn't up to where it should be, then your whole game's suffering. Even though the rest might be 9, 10 out of 10, if your fitness is 1 out of 10, everything else is compromised. It's only as strong as, the weakest link. So you, as a serious martial arts school owner, need to, track your stats daily, weekly, monthly, and then start to compile, graphs, statistics. Now, I'm not trying to overwhelm people here and think, wow, suddenly it needs to be data analyst overload. No, definitely not. Okay, but you're only going to improve if you start to understand the numbers and then make the tweaks necessary. So stats is a massive one. And number 5, really, the last common mistake people make is they'll throw students over the wall into their one program and then just hope they stay, motivated, and hope that they can progress through the grades and hope that they achieve black belt, maybe even become an instructor and so on. You need to make sure that you've got like a basic level of program. One of my fantastic mentors taught me this, and it helped my business so much. A couple of mentors. You need to have this basic program, which gives them a taste of your teaching, of your program, of your school. But then they have the option to enroll onto a higher level program, which has got a lot more advantages and shows more commitment. goals plus commitment equals success. Now, don't get this mixed up. Another silly mistake I did probably back from 2004 to about 2010, 11ish, something like that. All it was this is how much it is for one lesson a week, this is how much it is for 2 lessons a week, this is how much it is for 3 lessons a week. Which one do you want to do? And then set up a standing order, then you're good to go. However, that's such a bad thing to do. Okay, so students that are only coming once a week because of work commitments and other bits and pieces, generally not progressing twice as slow as those that are doing 2 lessons a week. Those that are doing 3 lessons a week and so on are progressing 3 times quicker than the one. So what I'm trying to explain there is, if you're doing that cost per lesson mentality, again, that's you're creating a ceiling there on your potential income, regardless of that's what everybody around you does, regardless if that's what your instructor did. You've got to think to yourself, if you want to earn as much as they do and stay at that level, then copy them, definitely. Okay, if you want to earn and turn your school into a professional, profitable business, but again, still teaching quality martial arts, if anything, you earning more money will allow you to teach better martial arts, okay? Because it'll allow you to invest in yourself, which will then improve your students' standard as well. So yeah, number one, then just to go over those common mistakes again. Number one is, if I can remember it now in order, no marketing or sporadic marketing. Number two was just teaching kicks and punches, the physical elements, rather than the unique character development, the personal growth, the life skills, the transferable life skills. Number three, I think I said no stats. They're not tracking stats enough. That might have been number four, but either way, yeah, it was number four. Number three, no retention tools, strategies in place that are completed and done every week. And number five was, what have I just said about number five? Only having one program, or having that cost pay per lesson mentality. Definitely not. So I hope that helped some people. Again, I don't know whether that's 12, 15, 20 minutes long. I don't know. I can talk a lot about martial arts school because it's something I'm very passionate about. But please do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel. It'll do me a massive favor. And again, if you're serious, obviously, if you truly are serious, you need to work with me and I will get you results if you're willing to listen. But invest in a copy of that book, okay? 330 pages there of specific tailored advice to martial arts school owners, not generic business advice, not I'm a gym owner, this might help with your martial arts school. No, that's specific to martial arts school instructors. So good luck, everybody. Take care. And I've been Dervish. And if you want to have a look at the website, I apologize. That's an old website. It's dervish.com. That's my name. Okay. Good luck, everybody. Take care. All the best.